Aloha, everyone. Welcome to Galactic Shamans live tarot and energy readings. My name is Deepa with Let's Evolve Together Tarot, and I'm here with Jason Donaldson with Jason Donaldson Healer. And we're here today to do live readings if you're interested, and also to talk about the collective energy, what's happening at this time, do a little collective reading. And we have a couple things we want to focus on today. One, of course, being this gorgeous new moon in Taurus. And the other one that was the next on our list, which is flow versus force. Is that mostly what it was, Jason?
Yeah, dancing with the force rather than forcing.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So I'm going to just check YouTube and make sure we're good there.
Yeah, we're live on mine.
Okay. Oh, good. And the description is there.
Yeah, and if you want a reading, they're $28 through Cash App or Venmo. Link will be in the description. Let's see. Make sure that's actually in mine.
Okay.
And links also in the comments.
Yeah. Yes, and it's in the description on Let's Evolve Together Tarot under the video. Is yours too?
Yeah, I'm putting it in right now. I forgot to put that in earlier. So.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, it's in there. I think. Oh, technology. You got errors. I cannot save till errors are corrected. Where are my errors? Oh, it's not for kids. I just make it easy and say it's not for kids.
No, it's definitely not.
I don't think they'd be interested anyway.
No.
No, maybe actually a lot of these kids are pretty wise already.
Depends on how we package it.
What's that?
Depends on how we package it.
Yeah. I just like to keep it simple. So yeah, how's everyone doing out there? Man, it's been all kinds of things, events, revealings, emotions. I've been feeling mine for sure and actually navigating them in a very different way. I'll share a little bit about that at some point. This kind of slightly different breathing technique that I already knew about, but like there's knowing and then there's a deeper knowing. And often it comes from when it's most needed, when the old way isn't working anymore and the frustration kicks in and it's like, wait a minute, I'll do something I've never done before. And then it starts working. So, yeah, it's a little bit about my things coming up as of late. And I'm excited for the collective reading we're going to be doing today as well. And whoever wants to come forward and get a reading, very often it'll follow the theme. It'll follow along with other people's readings. Like there's a reason why everyone would be together at this moment on this video, or even watching it later. It'll be of value very often because of the connection we all share. And especially if you're interested in the new earth and what that is. And as we're co-creating that together, it's what I'm getting is it's important to just share our visions, share our dreams. And even as ridiculous as the dream of actually being able to physically fly is the one I was told to share about a month or two ago. Just start sharing that dream. Like I thought when I was younger, my guides would tell me about flying. Remember about flying. Remember, I was like, oh yeah, well, I want to be a fighter pilot. That makes sense. Or, oh yeah, maybe they want me to fly a kite or something. But it's actually like rising above the density, letting go, shedding these beliefs and ideas and layers and levels of density, the whole ascension thing, and actually flying. And I'm sure a lot of you have realized in meditation and other practices that you have wings. There's wings there, not even intending or thinking they're there. All of a sudden you're in meditation and there's this awareness. It's like, oh shit, I got wings. This is pretty badass, you know, and they come from the back of the heart. So, you know, there's no coincidence there. And this could all be just chalked up to like a belief system, but really over and over that theme comes through for people. Just this awareness comes forth of who we truly are, and the physicality of that at different vibratory levels, different dimensions. So I just wanted to share that. And curious, Deepa, how are you doing, and what's been coming up for you? Is there anything you want to share with everyone as far as like personally how you've been navigating what's been up for the collective, and any insights you've come across?
It's actually been, for me personally, pretty mellow, but I have been sensing in the collective energy, we're in like this holding tank, for instance. I feel like, okay, Mercury came out of retrograde. That definitely felt like a release. But because Mercury is in shadow typically for 2 weeks after Mercury goes direct and prior, it's like we're still in this holding tank where we're not quite moving forward yet. And I feel like there's a lot of unknown right now. So at least with what I've been experiencing and what my family is experiencing, we're waiting on hearing things. We're waiting on hearing responses to things that, you know, whether it's a health diagnosis or whether it's about a business plan that's going to move forward or whatever it might be. There's things that are up in the air and ungrounded right now. So I think that can trigger a lot of strong emotions because there's this massive unknown that can leave us feeling really unstable and feeling unsafe and trigger a lot from that place. So, you know, these are the times that we use those life rafts that we have been given from our previous teachers and people that have shown the way showers. You know, this is the time to do your meditation practice and your mantra practice. This is time to use those spiritual tools that people have so graciously offered and handed down. Because I think for a lot of people, it's a little too quiet right now. And because of that, there's a restlessness and there's a rising of emotion and a swelling of the emotion, especially now. You know, there's this kind of parallel energy going on because we have Jupiter coming in. Hello, welcome in. Yay. We have Jupiter coming into Taurus, and Jupiter expands everything. So emotionally speaking, if we're feeling emotional, that could get even stronger. It depends on what's coming up for you. So I think I just wanted to share, like, if you feel like you can't move forward yet, there's a reason for that. And I think generally the guidance is give it another couple days or another week, especially this weekend. We're going to feel a pretty big release because the sun is moving into Gemini, and that's going to bring us a lot of new inspiration to move forward and even shine a light on a potential path to take. So yes, how do you say your name? Is it Chow? Welcome in. Yes, people can ask a question. If you want a tarot reading, they're $28. And we put, if it's possible for you, a Venmo link or a Cash App link in the description box below and also in the comments. I guess, yeah, both. They'll show up. It'll show up in both. I want to know how to pronounce your name, though. Joao? So anyway, yeah, that's what I wanted to share about that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it's what I'm experiencing too, is getting more clarity on what I want. And I'm seeing other people do the same thing, and then not really knowing how to go about getting it or moving even towards it sometimes. Because I think what a lot of it is that I've seen in myself and others is the emotion around that thing, and even starting to take a step towards it and then feeling all this emotion come up that maybe in the past would have just like taken us down or frustrated us or whatever, but actually now the opportunity to sit with it and be with it and to feel it in a different way, especially with like all this Taurus energy coming in to nurture the emotion from a place of love rather than the emotion overwhelming and being the truth of who I am in this moment, whatever the emotion is creating in my mind, or vice versa, because it's a dance back and forth with the thoughts creating the emotion, but also the emotion feeding the thought. So it's this perfect storm that can just, run and run and run and run. And then we can even get into like these spiritual practices and ways of dealing with it and think we're very present and focused and centered, and yet we're still in our intellect. We're still racing with the mind. We're just keeping the mind going. And so, yeah, anything that's going to really help us drop in with what we're feeling. And for me, that's the breath. And like I was mentioning earlier, that the exhale is so important. And up until now, I've been teaching people a relaxation breath, where it's you breathe in through the nose and you breathe out slow through the mouth, like the wind blowing. And that helps a lot for like decompressing. But one that's even more powerful, and this is really big in the Hawaiian culture, is the ha breath. So as you breathe in, and then you just let go with a ha. It's even kind of shaky. I can feel it shaky. Yeah. So I breathe in and then let go. And that kind of collapses everything down into the belly, and what the Hawaiians call the na'au. And so I lived in Hawaii like 12 years now, and I'm still learning, but like a lot has come to me just being in the presence of others. And what I've noticed is this grounded, calm presence, and very stable, and this connection with the earth. And that ha breath really helps with that, to get down into the belly, and also release. And with the emotion, what I was experiencing is a tendency to hold and get tight, and then with that crying or what anger or whatever, it's like, and just do it with that too. And that is like totally a game changer, as far as emotional release work and all that. And it's all stuff where like, yeah, I already know this, but it's so subtle, and it's slightly different from maybe how others are doing it. It's definitely, I'm doing it slightly different now too.
And I love that you're bringing in all these earth qualities, because with hello, aloha, unity, it's just perfect with Jupiter moving into Taurus, because this is all about expansion of our connection to the earth and how we relate to our lives through the earth, from growing food to feeling grounded inside of ourselves and connected to our bodies, and taking care of our bodies, and actual realistic physical steps we take in the world to manifest our dreams. So I love that you're connecting the breath to, the earth, because right now we're all going to be feeling this expansion of Taurus energy. And Taurus is an earth sign, and it really is about keeping things simple and coming back to what is true and what is pure, and what is it's almost like your cord, of seeing it as like a cord that connects you from the inside to your true soul self. And so it's like coming back to that purity. And when I opened the Akashic records for this Taurus new moon, it showed somebody with a candle, and it gave me this impression of somebody at a vigil. So they had lit a candle in honoring of something. And I was kind of questioning, vigils are usually to honor a transition from death to rebirth. And I think a lot of us are moving through that as we shed what no longer serves us, and we honor what wants to come through now as a new aspect of ourselves to learn and evolve from. And also it's an honoring of our natural divinity. It's not just about this transition from death to rebirth and how we're changing and how the world is changing from old earth to new earth, all of that. It's an honoring of what we always have been at our purest, at our deepest core. And then, and just taking time right now, like I said, Taurus is about keeping things simple. So lighting the candle and doing real physical things to connect with our divinity, like lighting a candle or making an offering of a flower, or it's real, like using your tools like tarot cards or a pendulum. So you have actual physical tools to connect you to spirit. Could be really helpful right now with the new moon in Taurus and with Jupiter in Taurus. So It's perfect with the breath. Oh, nice, Brian. That's perfect.
Yeah, I have a candle lit right now, actually. I always light a white candle whenever I'm doing like energy work or breath work ceremony or something that I want to really connect to my higher self. And so that as I light it is, you know, intending that that's strengthening the connection to the higher self and bringing in that flow, you know, that silver cord, that beam of light that comes down and animates everything. That's another thing that like kind of came to me in meditation, is this energy, the beam of light that's coming down. And we all have that. I've seen it when I was newer at this. I would help people connect that without even really asking if they wanted it. Like if they were irritating me or something, I'd be like, oh, here, you want to draw energy from me? I'll just connect you to your own energy. And then, you know, I didn't really realize you're not supposed to do that until actually I learned pretty quick that by the responses from people, like, oh, you don't do that for people. Yeah, it's not what, it's a violation in a sense. So, I don't know why I'm sharing that, but what you were saying about Taurus energy, it really reminds me of the Empress. Yeah, that card in the tarot, especially the Rider Waite, where you have this divine, feminine, nurturing matriarch that can oversee and really hold a space of safety and strength and guidance and nurturing in a way that also allows freedom and expansion, and really just the comfort that so many of us, you know, seek in life, and just wanting to feel safe, wanting to feel loved and cared for, kind of thing. And that's what I'm excited about with this energy, and what I'm feeling is the ability for us to have that. And with the food in particular, a lot of the astrologers are talking about how this fixed grand cross may impact like the value we place on food, and even how it's grown and everything else, because it's kind of drifted away from its original intention of being nutrient dense and really healthy, to like how much can we make, you know, how much can we produce and how much can we also make financially from it. So that's one of the things I would really love to see change. And, you know, the kids getting supported, the food being better, and yeah, whatever processes happen in that regard would be awesome.
Yeah, actually, it made me think. I was going to, and I'm probably going to do this now, but start a list of people that we're aware of, especially in the online community, but could be also physically, who have set up organizations already that are building toward a new earth concept, agriculturally or spiritually speaking, or in any way, like certain spiritual communities that are popping up, and make a list for people of resources that they can go check out themselves to get inspiration, or maybe so that they can support those people. So we can start to see like, oh, this is really happening. And we can start to form a tighter web of this reality coming true for us, because it is happening. And it's easier to see that and to make it come true for yourself and your own community if you're hooked into somebody who's already doing it also, because then you're going to get inspiration and ideas. But yeah, thank you. And we feed each other through our inspiration. So once one person is doing their calling to do whatever they can to lead the earth into a new realm, and then we're inspired, other people are inspired to do their thing, and so on. And it has that ripple effect. And you begin to see, I see, you know, even more how we're all connected.
Yeah, that's already, yeah, like you said, that's already happening here on the Big Island, throughout Hawaii. There's a lot of people organized and really amazing, talented farmers, and even like Ola Brewery has quite a network where they source locally. And yeah, I was surprised going in there. You see, I saw people I knew, and just to hear what they're working on and what's going on, and yeah, it's just really exciting to see that happening, because it's necessary, it's needed, so it's gonna be fulfilled. And same with all these super talented people. They're just waiting in the wings, or already doing it, and maybe a little frustrated because it's not quite being received as well or as big, but at some point it will be. Like it's going to blow up and be huge because it's needed. When that happens, I don't know, but I'm super stoked for it. Like all the problems we have, there's somebody that has the solutions. Not one person, but multiple people.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So a lot of resources here, just need a common channel. Oh, thanks. That's what I was going to say is these are resources you will never probably, maybe eventually, but not hear about on the news. So it's helpful if somebody's like, okay, here's what I've seen and found and things you can look up. And if we all contribute to that list, it'll get even bigger and better. So maybe we should find a way to start that list. That would be really cool. We'll figure it out. It's already started.
Yeah. Sometimes what I noticed with that is people get into the fighting energy. Like I haven't been into the researching it a whole lot, but what'll happen is they'll start, sharing all this stuff, how people are trying to do things differently than the mainstream. And then it kind of gets into this frustration and this kind of bashing of the mainstream. And then it gets into this information being kind of, controlled in a bit or like pushed away. And so that's kind of with the theme we were talking about today is like dancing with the force rather than forcing, is to like present these things and make it a viable option and then allow the other thing to exist too and not bash it and beat it up and allow people to choose rather than this is bad and you all need to do this and this is why and I'm so frustrated at this. And because I do the same thing myself and that's what I had to learn in this lifetime is just supporting the other thing. What we resist persists. We all know that. And yet it's like those moments when we're trying to create and build something and it's not working. It's easy to look next door and be like, oh, it's their fault. It's because of this thing, So, yeah.
Okay. Well, should we pull some cards on the current energy and see
Sure.
what shows up? Okay.
Yeah. It's always fun. I always figured we'd be on here just talking and sharing info and
yeah, and if
somebody wants a
anyone
reading,
listening,
great. But if not, like a lot of my intention was to just have fun and talk about whatever's coming up and going on, share information. And if people know of resources, they want to chime in the comments. Awesome.
also, if you're listening and not commenting, please say hello. We'd love to say hello. And if you have a question, the links are in the comments and the description box. And otherwise, right now we'll do a collective reading, and definitely we're going to be feeling into, I know what's going to come up already. Still some Mercury retrograde stuff, probably Jupiter in Taurus, and the new moon in Taurus. Okay. So do you want me to start then, Jason?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, mind. I know. I think I'll do what I said to you before we got on. So what we're going to do today is we've got this incredible resource. Hello, Carol.
Hey, Carol. Aloha.
So happy you're here. Thanks for being here. The Galactic Heritage cards by Lisa Royal Holt, which are channeled. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Which are channeled through Lisa from her Galactic Guides. And these cards, the reason I want to pull one for us right now today is because they're absolutely so spot on. It's one of those things you just get chills. So what I'm going to do is pull one card and read it because it's actually a channeling for the card and then guidance for what that could mean for you right now, which is super helpful. And then we'll go from there if Jason wants to do one. I don't know if you want to go back and forth this time or...
Sure. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go back and forth.
Wow.
And just dance with
the energy. Dance. Okay, look what we got. No surprise. Number 13, birth and expansion.
So this we were just talking about that.
Yeah, and this is a Lyra card and it says past. So she labels the cards past, present, sometimes parallel or future energy with each star race. So it will point to a time in their history or future time where this energy is coming from. So it gives us like a little more detail. So I have to put on my reading glasses. Okay, number 13, which is a 4. So I feel like this is really stable energy.
Brian says 4 is his number.
Yeah, that makes total sense to me, Bri. Okay. All right, here we go. Here's a little history. As the Lyran civilization grew, it unleashed a tremendous amount of creative energy. There was so much excitement to build this new civilization and expand into the galaxy. It was a time of optimism, enthusiasm, and creative experimentation. This is Jupiter energy. This card reminds you of that ancient time that you were a part of, and it encourages you to once again find that creative spark within you. Don't be afraid of your creativity. There were times when you were punished for it, but that reality has passed. It's time to release the karmic pattern of fearing your creativity and trust the universe to support it. Okay, so here's a little deeper. Because this refers to the time period of Lyra's past pioneering spirit and their commitment and enthusiasm to build the physical reality that they desired, you might think this is a card that represents a focus on masculine energy. That isn't necessarily true. It refers even more deeply to the creative process of the Lyrans, which, when used in a healthy way, was a very balanced expression. Creativity can be used for service or for selfishness. In their journey to mature as a species, the Lyrans used this creativity in both ways, and they learned the lessons of selfishness when they made unconscious, self-serving choices. Just like children or teenagers learn about the results of their choices, so did the Lyrans. If you have this card in your reading, look at the surrounding cards that may come up, and if there is a theme of several cards that warn of ego traps, pay attention to your hidden desires for your creative process. If the cards have a theme of nurturing your creative process or spiritual development, then you are encouraged to trust your creative process and take risks with it, even if you don't know where it will lead. Okay, so that's really amazing because I feel like what the guides are showing us is that this is a time of creative expansion to create that new earth, which is exactly everything we were just talking about. And what they're reminding us is you've been through this before, you've done this many times before, and this is a time for excitement and to trust and to just go with the flow and to allow your creativity to be as eccentric as you're afraid it is, to allow it to be totally colorful, totally wild, absolutely extravagant, because it's only going to drive and build on this high frequency, which is not just, okay, we need things to change here. We really need to bring in a higher frequency, a stronger love frequency. And with that is passion, excitement, courage, and boldness to like step forward into something brand new. And with that, it's like the Page of Wands. There's so much excitement and inner inspiration. And what she's saying is, they were so excited. So go to your excitement and let that lead you to this new earth.
I love that. And like letting go of the past, the thoughts and beliefs. And I was experiencing that with just emotion. There's when emotion comes up, there's this tendency to think about it and to like go to the past with it. Like, oh, I remember the last time this happened, and then to shut it down. But if we bring in the love, that loving presence with whatever we're doing, whatever we're facing, whatever we're creating with that emotion, it gets excited again. It starts to feel safe. Like, oh, this can be fun. This can be, I can be curious. I can enjoy this. Like in attachment theory and psychology, a lot of that has to do with a child's ability to explore their environment. And when they weren't really in a secure attachment to their parental figure, they didn't feel safe to venture out. They would venture out a little bit and then they'd run back, and if that person was there for them and calm themselves, then they'd go out and go a little further and a little further and a little further until they start to learn to have that within them. But if the parent wasn't really available or wasn't there or wasn't emotionally stable themselves or was drinking or on drugs or whatever, there was this longing for that safety and that like that empress energy and that love. And because they didn't find it outside, they kind of forgot about it inside. And it creates these different attachment types that are really just don't feel safe to do something new, and so the same stuff happens, kind of thing.
And that's such a beautiful reminder, because with the Taurus energy being that it focuses on making things simple, there is this moment of, what can I release that I no longer need to be holding on to right now? How can I simplify my energy field? Like going in and sensing what might feel heavy compared to what feels good, supportive, and light, and just simplifying, taking things off the plate. That's also Taurus energy.
Yeah. Is it Charlie? Hi, Charlie. Hopefully I'm saying that right.
Hello, welcome in. Aloha.
Aloha.
Thank you, everyone, for being here, whether you're just listening or talking and having conversation with us. If you do want a reading, click on one of the links and we'll read. Shay Lee. That's
Shay
really
Lee. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you for that.
That's super pretty.
Yeah, I like that version better.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to pull a card, or I was going to do the, do you want to go ahead, or do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, I was actually gifted this deck from someone I just met recently. His name's Seth. It's Ascension with the Angels Tarot. It's really cool. It follows the Rider-Waite, but it's more of an angelic theme around the angelic energies and ascension. His name's Seth. Make sure I get this right. I have a hard time with names. Deitlin. So I got his card here. Really cool guy. Podcast called Talk to My Angels.
Aw, love it.
He came to our breathwork and sound healing ceremony, and he's like, my angels guided me here. We're like, oh, okay, cool. And yeah, so the word's out, not only physically, but in the etheric realms, to come check out our event.
That's super great. It's the multi-dimensional flyer has been sent out and seen.
Yes. Well, we're always inviting people's guides in. We've been doing it for like 2 years there in the same spot. And we open a portal and, create this container, open a portal, invite our guides, guardians, higher self, any ancestors to come in and help us with our healing. And it's just this beautiful energy has been anchored in there. And there are times other stuff tries to come in, but it's just so solid there. And it reminds me of the new earth. Like we're, I wouldn't say initiating, but it kind of feels like that. Like people come and they connect to this love, peace, and joy from inside, and they start to emanate it even more brightly around them. And, it spreads these seeds throughout the planet of what everybody is essentially deep inside, and that what we chose to forget for a while. So these can be used as either, reading in a traditional way, or they can be used as oracle cards. And I haven't even used these yet. So I already got a card flying out. You got the 9 of Cups, which is an interesting take. It's magnets. And this is the cup energy came up recently. The 8 of Cups was showing up for me a lot. And a lot of that had to do with like having what I really wanted, but not quite, and having to walk away from it. And brought up this grief and this letting go. And I've seen other people talk about this too. There's been a lot of like relationships ending, and that kind of moving away from, God, that was so great. There's like 8 cups. They're all upright, in the traditional tarot. And then with this one, I like the spin on it, because what I'm getting just without reading it or anything is intuitively, it's like we're letting go to magnetize what's even better, like the 9 of Cups or even the 10 of Cups, where you're getting even more of that joy and that, emotional excitement and, everything water represents, more of that abundance of love and connection and everything. So that's being drawn to us versus dwelling on the past kind of thing. Like the 5 of Cups was the most dreaded card I'd pull in my 24-hour spread. It's like 5 cups and I forget exactly how it looks, but it was like this focusing on the ones that were spilled. There's 3 cups still, but he's like focused on the 2 that are spilled and in the past, essentially. And so what I'm getting, just this card just jumped out, so I'm just going to go with it. So since I was just going to pull one, that we're being asked to let go of things that are maybe comfortable or that have been stable in our lives, that feel really good, and at some level we know aren't really serving us or need to be navigated in a different way, and trusting that something new is going to come. Whereas what's coming up for me a lot of times is I remember how much time and effort I put into trying to manifest things, and it just never really worked. And maybe that was the divine timing. Maybe that was the fear I held around actually stepping into those things. And I'm realizing that a lot of what's available now on this planet is more support and more opportunity for things to manifest in a way that we truly desire, versus this control and domination. And no, you got to work really hard and you got to do all these things to accomplish this thing. And that's the essence of dancing, versus that force. Like, we don't have to like force and push and bang our head against the wall to break it. Either the wall's going to break or our head. Now it's like, well, I can just step back. I can breathe. I can feel what I'm feeling. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I just walked 10 feet and I go around the brick wall. Whereas before it'd be like, oh, I'm trying to climb this wall. I'm trying to break through it. I'm going to grab a sledgehammer. I'm going to get through that wall. And, some people get through the wall because they grab a jackhammer or sledgehammer and just keep at it. But now in the new earth, what I'm feeling is the ability to step back, kind of regroup, come into that place of internal comfort and love, and then look out with new eyes, because none of this is really real anyway. It's all an illusion that we set up to play to have this experience. And now it's getting to be, with whatever work we did, easier and easier. Like, sometimes I think it's the world doing this, but really it's me making the choices to move towards this new earth. Like everyone else, we're creating our own reality and making the choices to move towards doing things differently, and then magnetizing to us what's next with that, not knowing having a clue what it is, but knowing it's coming.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, they're going to feel some relief after the sun moves into Gemini this weekend. So next week, I think people are going to be having those like inspirations that they've been wanting to move forward and make a decision and make something happen. So I feel like it's coming.
Yeah. So let's see, pull another card. Yeah. Dragon Oracle. Unless you want to pull another one, and I'll shuffle these.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. So I wanted to give everybody a starseed card and then a light language card. And also, I think it would be helpful if we could show a card for next week. Like, Sun's in Gemini, Mars is in Leo. There's a lot of forward moving action. What does that look like? So that might be helpful to do too.
Oh yeah, and Jupiter's in Taurus right now too.
Yeah.
You're talking about Jupiter.
Yeah. Okay, so for the collective, Starseed Oracle card is, it's so pretty. Temple of Elevated Senses, Impeccability, Advancement, and Loftiness. So I definitely see Gemini energy here, because Gemini's an air sign. We get a lot of energy up here with Gemini. It's all about higher learning. So I see that connecting with loftiness and advancement, finding just the ways of we're like inspired in some way, and we move forward with that inspiration and we make something happen out of it. So it's definitely like a lot kind of going on up here, a lot of creativity, a lot of imagination, and a lot of forward thinking. So
what's the name of that card again?
Temple of Elevated Senses, and it's number 66. So it's a master number. Temple of Elevated Senses. Again, though, we have the energy of the Empress here too. So it feels like with all this Jupiter energy and all this, it's just creative expansion, and then the ripple effect it just keeps going and keeps expanding, and I feel like we're at that doorway or that precipice for that great expansion.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I think that's reassuring to me and maybe others, is that it is there even though it doesn't feel like it, and not giving up, not going into the past with the way it was the last time we felt this way, kind of thing. The last time we tried to create or do something.
That's so true. It doesn't have to look like the last lifetime. And we may feel the pattern of wanting to fear coming up, like that it may look like the last lifetime where maybe it didn't work out, or there was something to be feared, or there was some sort of persecution going on. And now, them saying, okay, all systems go. It's like, what? Are you sure? It's like that injured animal trying to come out of the hole so it can go get food. It's just not quite sure if it's really that safe,
Well, even in this lifetime, right? Like things that happen that weren't really our desired outcome. And what you're talking about, like the learned helplessness, where they would do these experiments and, weren't really, it was before they had, the oversight and ethics and things with how they experimented on animals and everything, but they would condition an animal where they couldn't get out of a room. And then they would open the door and they wouldn't leave. They just wouldn't leave. It was so ingrained that you just, if you get up, you're going to get shocked, kind of thing. And it's so strong in the mental body for that to be solidified. But then our consciousness, our presence can shift all that, we feel it and we're aware of it. And then we're like choosing to move beyond it, even with like breathing, like, oh, I just need to breathe. And it's like, oh, it's hard to breathe deeply. It's like, I can't breathe deeply. There's something wrong. It's like, no, it's just doing it.
Yeah. And we got, for the light language, we got balance. It says serious initiation. And what you'll see on there is written light language meant
Sweet.
to be an activation of balance. So I think definitely, like when we're feeling energy conjuring up in the crown chakra or a lot in the mind, like as we do with the air signs, it's really important to stay just as equally grounded and connected to the earth to avoid getting ungrounded or, really spacey.
Yeah. Seen that a couple times.
Yeah.
I've experienced that myself once in a while.
Yes.
I'm a Capricorn with Taurus rising, so it's like I got quite a bit of earth energy to help ground me. Otherwise, I'd be way out there for sure. Right. I'm already way out there anyway.
You have like double earth.
I think that's why my guides wanted me to go to college and study psychology and all that. It's to get more grounded. You're a Cancer with a Cancer rising and Cancer sun?
And Cancer Venus.
Oh, man.
But I recently had my Vedic astrology done. And since my Cancer stuff is so early on in the degree points, I show up as a quadruple Gemini in Vedic instead of a quadruple Cancer. So, and I always say I feel like both, but that's like such a Gemini thing to say. So I really do feel like both. And I can see my Gemini qualities. Gemini is all about continuing education. I have like a stack of books and notebooks a mile high, and that's where I'm most comfortable. So I see that, but I also see so much of the Cancerian. So I'm just like the split person in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's always tripped me out about the Vedic astrology is I get all frustrated. Like, wait a minute.
I know.
But a lot of my stuff's in later degrees, so it still kind of holds.
Maybe it does. Yeah, I was going to say, I was wondering about that.
Yeah. But in the Vedic, it's more emphasis is placed on your ascendant, I guess, than your sun sign. So they look at more of that. But yeah.
Yeah, well, my astrology teacher told me something that was incredibly helpful that I had never heard before. And it's your early years in life. And I think it may even be for most of your life, maybe even into your 50s, or I don't know, much past that. But you mostly exemplify the qualities of your rising sign. And your sun sign is something you're maturing into. So like for me, it's weird because I'm all Cancer. It doesn't really matter. So that's like a little crazy of a reading. But let's say you are Taurus rising, Capricorn sun. most people would see you as a Taurus as you go through your early years and into your mid life age. And then you're maturing into the attributes of more Capricorn as you grow older. And that stuff starts to come through more as you, come to the end of your life. You actually become your sun sign through the journey of your life.
Cool. Should I do a dragon oracle
the
card?
dragon
See what comes through? It's one of my favorite decks.
Yeah, I love that deck. I love that you have it and I don't.
Oh, you don't have that one?
No,
like
and I
150 decks. Not that one.
I can't pull from that one.
So Carol says maturing into sun sign. Interesting.
I always think of it as like the sun ripening something. So your sun sign ripens you over your journey in this life.
So I got the orange gold dragon from Arcturus. Opens you to knowledge for the new golden age. That's
Love
great.
it.
Love that card too.
Wow, I've been feeling so much Arcturus energy. We've had so many rainbows.
So carry the energy of the future, be a guiding light. Nice.
That is perfect.
Actually, how about I read on this one?
Yeah.
Orange gold dragon, is that 5th? Yeah, orange gold dragon is a 7th dimensional dragon. So go to 96. So Arcturus is one of the most advanced star systems in this galaxy, and a prototype of Earth's future awesome 7th dimensional orange gold dragons from Arcturus come to us when we are ready to become a walking master and help to usher in the new golden age. When a spiritual army of these dragons moves into place, they stimulate great evolutionary change in all that they touch. They are flowing into the earth now to help us during this exciting years ahead. Guidance. It is not by chance that you have incarnated during this extraordinary 20-year period when our planet is undergoing a double dimensional shift. Earth needs spiritual leaders and light bearers. These dragons are blazing their light towards you, for it holds the vision of our 5th dimensional future. They are inspiring you to do your part for the new golden age on Earth. Receiving this card indicates that it is time to stand in your power and fulfill your destiny. Allow the orange gold dragons from Arcturus to enter your energy fields and breathe into you the vision of Earth as it will be. They will give you great strength, wisdom, and knowledge that you'll need for the transformation ahead. You have much to do and many people to help, and a beautiful 7th dimensional orange gold dragon from Arcturus will stay by your side as long as you need it. Be a guiding beacon to light the way for many. Awesome.
That's beautiful energy.
That's what you're often talking about at our breath work and sound healing events is, being this light and this love in the world and just shining it, being the sun. Like, that wise master told us, I am the sun. Maybe not the S-O-N, maybe it was the S-U-N, and just shining that light out and not really even need to do a whole lot other than be that light, be that love, and watch everything transform around us. And that's really what I think the work is finding it inside and being brave enough to shine it and trusting that we'll be protected. And we got dragon families got our backs now, and even the lions are here. Like I've been really feeling, the lion energies as well, and really asking us to step up and create our kingdom, and not a kingdom of domination and destruction to acquire it, but like of healing and co-creation and moving towards what we want versus, what we think we need to do to survive or to get what we want. So I love that.
Cool. Well, I love that. I wanted to shift it a little bit and see if we can get more like, what could be coming next week, what's going on right now that can kind of give us some more down to earth guidance, I guess. And that'll be a nice Taurus segue, down to earth.
Yeah.
So this is the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck, and I just want to see what we have for this new moon. This is what we were talking about earlier. And now I don't know if we were talking about it between you and I, Jason, before the show, or right, we got another 4. So this is acceptance. You're talking about acceptance. So to me, can you see the letting go within the acceptance in this card image? It's 2 hands almost coming together. And it could be that they're about to touch or that they're releasing each other.
Yeah. What's around it? Is it sparkles or like birds or something?
It's like it's doves.
Doves. Cool.
For peace. And it's a
letting
number
go,
4. Yeah.
Like forgiveness, peace.
Like I released us both of this karmic influence.
Yeah, forgiveness comes to me. I don't know if you said that or not, but that energy.
Through acceptance, peace arrives. And there's that lighting of the candle. So it would probably be a wonderful time to...
Brian asked you to hold it a little closer.
I was just hoping it wouldn't get washed out, but it's not.
Yeah. Oh, there's a moon in there too.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I don't know.
We're talking about like the joy, the joy, the peace.
Oh, I know. Thank you. So what a wonderful thing to do at this new moon, but to light a candle. And I mean, you could do a burning bowl ritual, but I'm thinking more about like a peaceful letting go. So lighting a candle and honoring all your past experiences for all the lessons they've given you, instead of looking back with anger, resentment, bitterness, anything like that. But look at all the lessons, big and small, hard and easier, and just honoring them all for what they were to help your soul grow, and lighting a candle for the people and the influences that built you into the person that you are today is such a sweet and wonderful way to use a vigil. And that's, with this moon, that's what I saw in the Akashic records, was someone really honoring not just their divinity, but, say thank you and feeling gratitude for the past to open the way, to open this new way that's here now for the present. Also, we got a 41, which of course is a 5, but here's another 4 technically. And this one is sovereignty. And this is also about like releasing, because when we release what doesn't serve us or what's pulling on our energy, our energy field is sovereign. If we release addictions or people that aren't supporting our energy or our lives or our soul growth, down all the way to the food we eat, if it's not supportive, just really clearing out what isn't helping us thrive, and bringing in what, the new sources, the new resources that will help us thrive at this time.
Yeah, like standing in the ability to make that choice. Like what came up for me is self-sourcing. Like
inner authority.
You have everything you need. You're self-sourcing and able to like go out and share that energy of like love, for instance, not needing someone to feel love and be loved. You are the love, and then wanting to share it with someone. Like not really needing food to feel better, just finding that feeling first, and then like, oh, what food do I want to eat, rather than what food's going to help me feel better or distract me, and stuff like that.
Yeah, because like if you eat food that doesn't complement your body, that's what leads to, stomach irritability or gas or issues with the digestion. And that really agitates the mind. According to Ayurveda, you would eat in a way that keeps everything very calm and supportive and nourishing, very sattvic. That's the word, sattvic. So if you eat agitating food, extra spicy food, too garlicky, too oniony, anything, and it agitates the mind, then it's harder to meditate, or it's harder to get back to your center. It's harder to find the calm in the storm. And you could really support yourself by just shifting your diet a little bit. And a lot of people don't realize that when you eat in an unsupportive way, it really affects your peace of mind.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And there's like some of us are like, oh, I'll just go meditate after I eat this, or I'll do more breath work. But it accumulates and it builds. And yeah, it's just a lot of time spending trying to transmute some ice cream.
That's so true. You're using a lot of energy trying to transmute ice cream.
Yeah, which I loved in the past, but
the
I
quote of
can't
the
do it
year. That's the quote of the year.
What's weird is like about the food thing is I think when we're on this journey and you know, becoming more sensitive or more tuned in, like asking to be more of a healer or a clairvoyant, or just, you know, like ascending in a sense, the heavier, denser foods, or the ones that aren't really as healthy for us, it really starts to have an impact. Or maybe it's just aging, I don't know, but like I've really noticed that there's a lot of stuff I just cannot eat anymore, especially a lot of processed foods. It just doesn't agree with me, and I can do it, but it's like I'm gonna have to, like, you know, burp and breathe and do some energy work on my belly and all that stuff. So it's yeah, it's I'm excited for healthier food options in the future.
I mean, that's what the yogis, so everything the yogis did was to provide a more stable and supportive environment for their meditation practice, for their spiritual growth. So what you're going to see is a yogi who was taught to wake up in the morning and do a series of yoga postures to prepare their body to sit in meditation for longer periods of time. You stretch, you open your hips, you release your back and shoulders so that you can sit in your meditation posture for a longer period of time. You're also going to see them eating very soft, nourishing foods, things that are easy to digest, because for the same reason, they want to use their energy to focus on their spiritual growth, not be having to, okay, now I got to work on my balance of my gut because it's all out of whack. It really makes you overtired. It make, you know, you're not sleeping all of a sudden. That all that affects your meditation practice. So in the yogic path, they would say all of this is for the one goal, to support the one goal of my spiritual growth. And that is why they do the things that they do in the way that they do them. But we did get an interesting reading for next week because I wanted to see like what, because there is a big shift coming. It's the sun in Gemini, Mars coming into Leo. So a lot of us are going to want to move forward. And so it's interesting actually, because we did get the Two of Swords in reverse. So to me, this is coming out of internal conflict, not knowing the way, coming out of that, like getting unlocked from that. It's surrounded by the Page of Cups, which to me is like news or information coming in that will help the circumstance, that will make your heart feel like it could be an offer of love, sure, but it feels like a little something to make it sweeter, to entice you through this decision-making process. And then we have the Four of Pentacles in reverse, also in reverse, where this card usually, or another four, where this card usually means holding on tight to something. In reverse, to me, it's finding a way to really let go. And I think what we're seeing here, Jason, is going with the flow rather than forcing. So we're finding a way to detach, to see the bigger picture, and to allow the flow that wants to happen. And then we move with it. And then I looked at the bottom of the deck and we had the Tower. So the underlining energy is a major arcana card that means big changes. So this reading right here, the reason we're coming out of a decision, right? So there was some sort of influence creating a shakeup internally, causing us to question whatever, maybe even leaving us at a standstill or waiting for information, more information to be able to move forward. And when I tried to clarify it, we got the Seven of Pentacles, which is investment over time in reverse. So
there's a lot of earth in there, a lot of pentacles. Yeah.
Isn't there 3 or 4?
There's a Page of Pentacles too, yeah.
Seven of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups.
Page of Cups, okay.
So, you know, this could be finances, like we've been investing, we've been saving. What is this all leading to? Or this could be overspending or debt, getting this in reverse. So it feels like something's getting shaken up with the Tower card. And because this thing has, you know, shaken up the stability, we have to make a choice. And it's not necessarily a choice we want to make, but it will release us from a previously held attachment. And if we release that attachment, we may find our way to grow and evolve. Like for whatever reason, it's keeping us in this holding pattern somehow, in some way. It's not serving us, because I really do believe that the universe is good and wants us to succeed. And when things get shaken up, it's to bring us into more alignment. It's to say, hey, this is not working. We need to realign. And so at first we want to attach and cling and not surrender and not let go, because the ego wants the safety of it, of the security of holding on. But spirit says, and spirit wins and says, but it's time. It's just time to let go. So that's really interesting. It's some big lessons too with the Tower card, because this is major arcana stuff. So
yeah, some people are predicting some upheaval in financial markets and
right,
inflation with the money, or some aspect with the
like
money.
you were saying with food too.
Yeah, and food. So I'll pull a couple cards as well.
Yeah.
So right out the gate, I got the Death card, which is like, as we all know, it's the ending of something, letting go. Then the Ace of Swords. So the ideas, epiphanies, like new levels of awareness. And believe it or not, Four of Pentacles reversed.
Whoa.
Letting go. I mean, I don't know if this is about letting go of our concept of money and what that involves, or our own personal finances, watching that be let go of. But it, overall, it feels positive, even though it may not, positive, negative, desirable in a way. Whatever's going to happen is going to be desirable, even though it may not feel that way at first. And the new earth, money may not be as crucial. There'll be a different way of navigating things and exchanging. And I've always said that, and this is true and throughout, the galaxy, is as far as my feeling and knowing with it, is that more enlightened civilizations, you don't have to like pay for your basic needs. It's just provided. And then if you want more, people go out and they work for it and they do what they're inspired to do. And everyone's like, well, how are people going to do this? How is this going to get done? It's like, it'll be automated, or there's people that really desire to do that kind of work. And the intellect always wants to argue with that. I've had so many, I want to say arguments, but just debates about that. Like, how would that work? That's not possible, but it would, and it's not Marxism or any of that. It's just, your basic needs are provided, and how that happens, I don't know, but it just happens. And then there's opportunity to acquire more if you want, and it's great. And nobody's going to hinder or obstruct that unless it's like hurting others, and that'll work itself out because people will be aware of it. They'll see it. It'll be very obvious that that person is doing what they're doing and not really in integrity, and they won't be supported. That's like the revealing, I think, that's coming, as well as a lot's going to be revealed of how things have been done and why, and it all served a purpose. So it's not evil or bad. It's just we're moving into a new reality, in a sense, a new way of navigating things. And we chose an old way for a while of, what we were experienced previously, because it was desired, and now something else is being desired. So I don't like to throw people under the bus or blame people for things, because I've had lifetimes where I was just like them, doing those things, and thought I was justified, and I could, so why not? But yeah, and then eventually it's like, I don't want to do that anymore. That's what the evolution is, right?
Yeah, actually, because we both got a Four of Pentacles in reverse, I picked some clarifiers, and this is really interesting. So this Tower moment, what it's shaking up and bringing to the surface is our deep desires that we haven't felt okay to claim for ourselves through either unworthiness or scarcity, whatever it might be. There's something we've held deep in the heart that we've wanted for a long time. And this shakeup is causing us to reflect on what our heart truly wants. So the shakeup is the surface commotion, the waves on the surface of the ocean, the distraction. But deep down, what's rising to the surface is a deep desire, really needing and wanting to be met and matched. So that's why I think it will bring us into more alignment. It may look one way on the surface, but as you go deeper into the ocean, the water gets very calm, and what is there is revealed, because you can't see clearly on the surface when the water's like that, but you can when you go deeper under the surface. So I do feel like it's like an unearthing, and this to me feels like full moon energy. And I don't know if you guys have heard this or noticed it yourselves, but our new moon in Taurus is flipped. Right now, we should be having a full moon. The new moons typically come at the beginning of the month or the beginning of the season, and the full moon's at the end. So for the next, what did Molly say, 13 months, 14 months, we have full moons at the beginning and new moons at the end. So it's interesting that what I'm feeling right now is a new moon that looks and is acting a lot like a full moon, which means there's a light being shined, right? And this could be the sun moving into Gemini too, the effect of that. There's a light illuminating our deepest desires, and that will bring an epiphany and then a way forward.
Yeah, it's a great time to plant a bunch of seeds, with all this, Empress, Taurus, and Venus energy. And
yeah,
to like plant a bunch of seeds, and, time to, like, in the old days, they plow the field and just throw those seeds everywhere and, see what comes up.
Right. That's awesome. That's perfect.
Yeah.
New intentions. Be clear about your intentions. I would say first clear away what you don't want, and then set new intentions, because I think it can be, if we don't take time to clear that out, the mind gets cluttered, and then our intentions are a little polluted. At least for me, that's how it feels sometimes.
Yeah. Well, what this gentleman I knew in Mankind Project, he's a really high level mentor, coach, and charges like hundreds of thousands of dollars to work with this guy. And I was like blessed to be hanging out with him on this weekend. We do these rite of passage weekends for men. And he was sharing some of what he works with people with. And one of the things he said is like, what's the most ridiculous goal you have? Like the most, thing that just seems the most ludicrous, most impossible dream or goal, and pick that and go for that. Like it's got to be just seemingly impossible. I forget exactly how he put it, but it was basically like that, where it's like, what is that thing that you just really truly desire, and it just seems ridiculous and it'll never happen, and it's it doesn't make any rational sense, and pick that and then start moving towards that, not knowing how you're going to get there. So I would invite everybody to do that during this time. Is what is it you really truly desire and always wanted, and especially as a kid, and it doesn't make any sense, but it's what you want.
Yeah, this is, and I know I keep bringing up the sun in Gemini, but this is a perfect time to visualize. So visualize yourself going for that totally outlandish dream. Visualize yourself going through the actions. This is a great time to use your imagination to then set the intentions, plant the seeds, and to start to move toward it. So the mind is going to get really activated. So use it. Don't let it make you anxious. So we got some really beautiful cards. Do you want me to keep going, or you want to go?
I'm feeling pretty complete with it.
Okay.
And if you want to keep going,
maybe I'll wrap it up.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Put a bow on it.
Put a bow on it.
Yeah.
So we got, what should the collective ask themselves at this time? Love these cards. So this one says, am I ready to be seen? And at the bottom it says soar. And of course we have that beautiful dove or eagle, bald eagle with the heart. Looks like a clock on his chest, or an eye. It's an eye, I think. And then we have the great horned owl. It says here, what am I listening for? Listening for to the intuition to give you guidance. And then jump. Where am I ready to leap forward? And we got the grasshopper.
Nice.
I mean, it's all saying kind of a repetition of the same thing. It's a time of expansion. So if you're going to jump, what do you need to let go of so that you can jump? Or where are you jumping to? You know, because jumping's here. So you're going to jump. So what pool are you jumping into? And is there anything you need to let go of so that you can jump freely? Surrender. We got what to surrender. Surrender to wonder and awe. And this one says, open to the magic of every moment and sense the awe and wonder in all of life. This attitude will keep you connected to the ecstasy of flow. I like that, the ecstasy of flow. And then to finish, we got from the Moonology deck, show the world the real you, of course. This
That's
is
similar to the other one we got.
Full moon in Aquarius.
Yeah.
We also have a full moon in Cancer. A personal issue reaches resolution. And then we've got some beautiful Libra energy, and the moon is in Libra right now. A new romantic cycle begins.
Yay. That sounds great.
Yeah. You're welcome,
Thanks,
Carol. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah, we love it if you guys contribute to the conversation. That's so fun. And to kind of also chime in if you want about how the energy is showing up for you is super helpful and supportive. And just saying hi is really helpful and supportive. So thank you for that.
Yeah, we'll be back here again next Thursday, 11 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time. That's 1 p.m. Pacific. And anything else we want to share before we go, Deepa?
I think that's all. It's a wrap. Oh, yeah, it's a wrap, I guess they would say.
Awesome. So everyone, yeah, shine your lights and plant your seeds and enjoy whatever's coming next, because something's going to happen, and ultimately it's going to be for us, for our benefit. And it's exciting times to be alive. So thank you all for being here on our journey together through all this, tuning in.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Namaste and bye for now.